Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. This is your captain speaking. On behalf of the entire crew, welcome aboard of Whiskyfile Spirit Airlines. not affiliated with Spirit Airlines, just simply a joke about whiskey. Plus, we give you more legroom, better amenities, probably cheaper seats because it is free off of YouTube, and we offer a full beverage services on all of our flights, including select whiskeys from my private collection. We want to thank you for coming aboard on our non-stop flight from Paris to Hamburg. Surprised that I actually did that one without my prep, because I actually have my phone in front of me, so that way I know what I'm actually doing. But, you know, sometimes you're just able to wing it. Get it? Pun? 'Cause wings and flights? Well, there's no viewers yet. Because no one could hear my terrible jokes. This is, of course, though he's still in America, 420. If you're in Europe, it's 24, and you're wondering why are all the Jack Bauer memes going around? That's probably why. People celebrate weed. I don't partake, but I am going to partake in some whiskey, because why not? It is, of course, the evening. That means it is not uncouth to be pouring myself a glass. There it is. Lovely uncorking of, right now I'm going to be drinking my cask strength Kayo Mizunara, a delightful drink. Now I bet you're also wondering, Japanese whiskey? There's Japanese whiskey? What? Well, you clearly didn't watch my video reviewing the Suntory Toki. Now, if you did watch that, there is significantly better Japanese whiskey out there, this being one of them. And we will go into a little bit of a review once we get things going here. So, it is, of course, a bit dark. It is 6 a.m., actually 6:12 a.m. in Germany time. Actually, no, in French time, which is the same as Germany time, because they're all Eastern, which is, or actually Western Europe, which is +1 of UK. But because it is actually like 3 a.m. there, or I guess 4 a.m. or something like that, or of course, moving time just a little bit, we are going to turn on our batteries. External power is, let's see, external power is now on. So we're going to tune to Charles de Gaulle ground, which I believe I remember how these work. Let's see here. I swear I've flown this plane before. Let's just punch it in. 1, 2, 1. Oh, hey Todd. Welcome aboard, sir. I'm just punching in my frequency for Charles de Gaulle. Let's see, did that actually work? No, it did not. Well, I used to remember how to do this. There we go. That's where it is. Alright, so it's on standby. I can now tune to that. So we are going to request jetway connection.
All ground, Whiskyfile 140.
That way y'all can board.
Please connect the jetway to the aircraft.
Oh, happy to pour you a glass, sir, if you are here. It is delightful. The Kayu Mizunara here is a 53% alcohol by volume, which is 106 proof. And it is their cask strength. I also do recommend the cheaper variety of just their standard Mizunara, which is phenomenal. I just fortunately went through my glass, but it's a delight. Very similar to sort of a mixture between Speyside and Islay. It's got the sweetness of Speysides, but it's got the sort of seasidiness of Islay, so you might actually really like it with your Jefferson Reserve there. And feel free to join the WSA flight chat if you want to. Although I'm guessing you're probably fishing. Oh, that is a delight. Yeah, if you liked the Oban and you like the Jefferson, it's sort of like a marriage between those two. just fantastic. And this one's a bit stronger because it's cask strength. Alrighty. Enough about whiskey, because this is, of course, a flight simulator channel. That's the reason why it's called the Whiskyfile. It's a very obvious joke, because this is a whiskey channel that just does a lot more flying lately, because flying is fun. Alright, let's get my checklist up. So that's what I was pulling off to the side there. I've already turned on battery, I've already turned on start power. So next up is APU selector. This is basically the sort of starter motor. Turn that to start. APU generators are already on, so that will start up. I don't know why it defaults to that, but it does. And once that's going, you can hear it kind of winding up. Now, it is actually a lovely early morning here in Paris at Charles de Gaulle Airport. I have no idea if the neon there is accurate. I would assume it might be. Ooh, who is playing? Is it still the Astros, or have they moved on? Because, I have not been paying attention to baseball at all, just because work and Gran Turismo. Things happen. Alright, let's see, so APU is going, right? I do feel. Surprised it actually doesn't say anything here. Well, it doesn't say anything useful there. Well, useful is a relative term. Alright, so we're gonna turn on the fuel pumps. Even though I can reach it here, it's easier to make sure I'm actually hitting the right things through my Control 8. So, fuel pumps. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yes, it is. Fuel pumps. Fuel pumps. Fuel pumps, even though there are no center tanks. I'll make sure fuel balance is on. That means basically things won't get all wonky in flight. I've never actually really had a problem, but we're gonna let ground crew know with our beacon that we are ready to pull off. Now, I have no idea why the jetway is partway into the engine, but that's nothing of our concern. If you boarded onto the engine, please make your way through the emergency exit on the wing. Do not step too hard, and if you are wearing heels, please make sure to stand only on your toes. Do not punch through. Ah, Houston in Houston. So does the Astros. Hopefully they're not cheating. Alright, now that we do have that, I'm going to request jetway disconnection from the engine. I have no idea why it's there. Ah, that is so dumb. Sometimes this game is just a little bit stupid. Okay, it just teleports. That's cool. Good to know that France does employ the instant retracting jetways. Alright. Now with everyone aboard, let's go back to our clearance here. So on to clearance. And we'll request IFR clearance.
De Gaulle ground Whiskyfile 1402 IFR to Hamburg, ready to copy.
Whiskyfile 1402 is cleared to Hamburg Airport as filed. Take off runway 09er right climb and maintain 11,000 feet. Departure frequency is 125.7 squawk 1332.
Now, Todd, I don't know if you were paying attention to that.
1402 cleared to Hamburg Airport as filed. Take off runway 09er right climb and maintain 11,000 feet. Departure on 125.7 squawk 1332.
I don't know if you were paying attention to the flight number there, but it is 1402. 14 for your number, and 02 for the World Series that the Angels won. Thought you'd appreciate that, given I kind of figured you'd be on the flight.
De Gaulle ground Whiskyfile 1402 with Quebec ready to taxi IFR.
Whiskyfile 1402 taxi to and hold short of runway 09er right via taxiway Alpha Bravo Bravo Delta 7 Delta Delta 4 Delta Delta 2 cross runway 09er right Delta 1. Contact tower on 120.65 when ready.
right? Yeah, knowledge.
Taxiing hold short runway 09er right using taxiway Alpha Bravo Bravo Delta 7 Delta Delta 4 Delta Delta 2 cross runway 09er right Delta 1 Whiskyfile 1402.
Now, hopefully everyone is seated. I'm going to turn on the fasten the seatbelt sign, and I figure it is about time before we push off to do the flight safety video. We are flying in a Boeing 787. Now please take a moment and pay attention as we go through the safety information for this aircraft. When the seatbelt sign illuminates, you must fasten your seatbelt. Insert metal fittings one into the other and tighten by pulling on the loose end of the strap. To release your seatbelt, lift the upper portion of the buckle. We suggest that you keep your seatbelt fastened throughout the flight, as we may experience turbulence. There are several emergency exits on this aircraft, 4 forward, 2 aft, and 2 over each wing. Please take a few moments to locate your nearest exit. In some cases, your nearest exit may be behind you. If we need to evacuate the aircraft, floor-level lighting will guide you towards the exits. Doors can be opened by moving the handle in the direction of the arrow. If you are seated next to an emergency exit, please carefully read the special instructions card located by your seat. If you do not wish to perform the functions described in the event of an emergency, please ask a flight attendant to reseat you. Each door is equipped with an inflatable slide, which may also be detached and used as a life raft. In the event of a water landing, a life vest is located in the pouch under your seat or between the armrests. When instructed to do so, open the plastic pouch and remove the vest. Slip it over your head. Pass the straps around your waist and adjust it at the front. To inflate the vest, pull firmly on the red cord, only when leaving the aircraft. If you need to refill the vest, blow into the mouthpiece. Your seat cushion can be used as a flotation device. Pull the cushion from the seat, slip your arms into the strap, and hug the cushion to your chest. And please note, the doors are not flotation devices. Oxygen and air pressure are always being monitored in the event of a decompression. An oxygen mask will automatically appear in front of you. To start the flow of oxygen, pull the mask towards you, place it firmly over your mouth and nose, secure the elastic band behind your head, and breathe normally. Although the bag does not inflate, oxygen is flowing to the mask. If you are traveling with a child or someone who requires assistance, secure your mask on first and then assist the other person. Keep your mask on until a crew member advises you to remove it. At this time, your portable electronic devices must be set to airplane mode until an announcement is made upon arrival. If you noticed your video stream has stopped, that's because you fell for that and I will never get tired of that joke. We remind you that this is a non-smoking flight, even though some of you think you look cool doing it. Tampering with, disabling, or destroying the smoke detectors located in the lavatories is prohibited by law. You will find this and all other safety information in the card located in the seat pocket in front of you. If you do not have a seat pocket in front of you, you're probably not actually on a plane, which we don't find all that surprising. We strongly suggest you read this card before takeoff, and good luck if you don't have one. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to ask one of our crew members or in the chat next to the video. So sit back, relax, and when we're safely at cruising altitude, pour yourself a glass and enjoy your flight on Whiskyfile Spirit Airlines. Hope you enjoyed that there. Oh, nice. Glad to see. I saw the score 6-0. What the heck happened in the first inning? Man, they just apparently blew the Astros out of the water. Yes, we are, sir. We are going to get ourselves some hamburgers because it's in Hamburg. And yes, I actually did have a hamburger in Hamburg. It was actually pretty good. They have really good fries at the place I went to. Yeah, I've got the live scoring going, so I don't have the game playing. I mean, I probably could, but then I get immediately demonetized if they were to hear the game going. But, alas, I've got score up. I've got... There we go. Now, top of the 8th, so game's almost done here. What we are going to do is we are going to... Let's see. Go to services. We are going to request pushback.
All ground Whiskyfile 1402 requesting pushback.
Whiskyfile 1402 pushback request accepted.
And we'll pull our parking brake here. Now the sun is starting to come up. We will have a lovely sunrise over Pelly. And we will head to Germany. Not like Hamburg. If you took a look at the oh, there we are. We are turning. We'll be wanting to go to the left. Oh, actually, because let's see here. Oh, actually, I'm gonna just pull it back here, and then we'll start the engines. I'll do it after we do the pushback. That car is about ready to commit suicide. I get the right of way, dude. What are you doing? What are you doing, van? That van's drunk. Just go right into my plane, sure. Oh, he's gonna get in trouble.
All ground Whiskyfile 1402 requesting the end of pushback.
I know they weren't.
Whiskyfile 1402 request to end. Pushback received.
But it still amuses me. Alright. Let's get these engines started. So, we can check off everything on my checklist. Thrust levers at idle. Which I know they are because they always start default idle. 0%. Right engine start. Fuel control. And the engines are spooling up. Who? Oh, I was talking about the van that was trying to shoot underneath me. But I don't know who invented the hamburgers. But going back to what I was saying about Hamburg, probably one of the most notable buildings there is actually the one that I put on my thumbnail there. That is the Hamburg Opera House, designed by Snøhetta. And yes, of course, it is the architecture nerd moment. It's a very strange looking building, but it's pretty cool looking. Looks so much better in person. And probably the only movie that, and granted it took me out of the movie anyways. Let's see, it was at the World's Fair in Chicago or New York. That's awesome. Because I do like a good tasty burger. And I am in a burger mecca here, because I mean obviously I got In-N-Out. There's Five Guys. Oh, they're a little pricey. There's a number of Greek burger places that just make phenomenal food. Tom's. Bet you miss Tom's, don't you, Todd? Alright, right engine is started up. Let's get the left engine going. It's not my fault you moved away, although I do envy you. And there are people out there that disparage In-N-Out. And I say to them, most burger places, to get that quality out there, are usually a few bucks more. But they got a good taste and for a cheap price. And I even like their fries. But see, you gotta eat them fresh. Because, they do get stale when they're cold. But they're quite tasty when they're hot. So you gotta eat it fast. Alrighty. Yeah, they are. No, I agree. Because I like good In-N-Out burger. I work like about a mile from one. Or 1.6 kilometers if you are so inclined to use metric. Oh, yeah. Back to clearance. We're gonna check, yeah, we should probably check ADAS. Because I want to know what I can do. So, 127, 0.13 is ATIS. So, put that in there. That'll go on standby.
Tacoma Airport information, Quebec 0400 Zulu. Wind 0 tree 9er at 12. Visibility, tree. Sky condition, clear. Temperature, 9er. Dew point, 10. Altimeter 29er decimal 8 tree. ILS run.
Oops. That's okay. I'm getting all the information I need. Actually, I'm not. Ugh. Sometimes. Alright. I'll just check meet her. Meet her data will tell me what I want. I just changed it too early because I was trying to punch in something. Alright. LPG 1010. Alrighty. I need to gotta do conversions. Fortunately, this plane does. Oh. There we are. Alright. So, let's go. Pretty smart guy there. You gotta go a lot faster than 88 miles an hour in this thing. Because liftoff, you're doing... How far are you going? Because you're doing about 100 and probably 175 knots. That'll be V2, I think is what it is in this. Which is probably twice that. Actually, it's more than twice that. It's like 190 miles an hour. Because 88, they'll just laugh because I'll just run off the end of the runway if I just keep it at 88. Cessnas take off at 88. Alright, let's get going. So we're actually off the apron, so that means I can go 30 knots. If you're wondering, I am looking at my ground speed, which is off my map here. Very small, very, very small. Well, everything is just a big Cessna if you look at it that way. 747 is just a big Cessna. I mean, it flies actually easier than a Cessna to some pilots because, you know, a big bird like that, they're actually really easy to fly because they're not very twitchy. They go where you point them because they're so damn big. Momentum just carries them. There's a guy who goes by the name 74gear. Really cool guy. I just watch his channel. I don't know him personally. But he talks about all sorts of things, aviation. And he's a 747 pilot, obviously, from the 74 in his name. But he basically says, like, yeah, they're fairly easy to fly. I mean, as long as you know what you're doing. Because a plane just really wants to fly. Once it's off the ground, everything's easy. Bigger is better. I do like flying the big planes. I don't fly a Cirrus. I'll probably fly a Cessna or something one of these days. They're really easy to fly. Actually, most of the Cessnas these days are so advanced. They actually have glass cockpits now, which is the digital displays like this plane has, which is pretty cool. Ooh. We are going way too fast. Oopsies. What got me speeding? It's fine. I'm usually more careful about that, but I got distracted. I blame you, Todd. It's all your fault. Alrighty, we are pulling up on our runway. We are actually missing a few things from our checklist because I just decided to go, and I'll blame the alcohol in this one, which is always good to hear from your pilot. But we'll take care of those things before we set off. Kill that, put on parking brake. Let's pull up all of our lights, because we should have these on. Oopsies. It's fine. Everything is fine. Let's see here. So, all that's there. Yeah, I always miss things on my checklist when I'm drinking. I mean, at least got the engine to go. You hear the engine motors, you're really like, yeah, let's go. Alright, and APU can turn off. More. That's cool. Alright. So yeah, this is how the plane should look before takeoff. We're going to drop our flaps. I'll give myself a little bit of trim up. Turn on the flight director. Auto throttle is on, although I'm going to set it to 185. That's there, that's there. Alright. So we'll tune to the tower, 120665. So 120.665. And we'll bring that up here. There we are. Oh, not 665. 61. Oh, that was it. Yeah, that was it. Yeah, we're right. Okay. And let's take off.
Take all tower Whiskyfile 1402 ready for IFR departure runway 09er right.
Whiskyfile 1402 altimeter 29er decimal 8 tree wind 0 tree 9er at 12. Cleared for takeoff runway 09er right.
Cleared for takeoff runway 09er right Whiskyfile 1402.
It takes a little while to get going. You know this, Todd. You've been on my flights before. I always like to follow procedure loosely. I at least got one of the topless flight attendants to serve me. You've been typing this whole time and you've been napping? Crazy. I'm surprised that you'd be sleeping through a potential perfect game. Alrighty, and we will stop right here for the time being. I'm going to grab my... I like having the weather up, and we'll increase the range here. 80. Alright. Actually, I could probably Shift that to the center there. Excellent. Oh, that would have been easier to have it bigger. Alright. Let's go. Ladies and gentlemen, prepare for the takeoff that is already occurring. Nap typing is a common thing? Interesting. And we have positive climb. Pull up the landing gear. Engage autopilot. Oh, at least limit. Yeah, I know it's overspeeding. It's because my auto throttle is not engaged.
1402 contact Paris Center on 125.7. Good day.
Going to 125.7 Whiskyfile 1402.
125.7. Get out of the way, little notification.
Paris Center Whiskyfile 1402 is passing 1,400 feet, climbing 11,000 feet.
Whiskyfile 1402 Paris Center altimeter 29.83. Continue to PG 092 as planned. Whiskyfile 1402 contact Paris Center on 118.05. Good day.
There we go. I don't know why it's keeping me at 1,400 feet, but
118.05 for Whiskyfile 1402.
118.05.
Paris Center Whiskyfile 1402 is passing 1,600 feet, climbing 11,000 feet.
Whiskyfile 1402 Paris Center altimeter 29.83. Continue to PG 092 as planned.
Pull that up now. Let's see, it's at 8.3, so I was only off a little bit. There we go. But there we are airborne. Turn off our checklist because we do not need it. Take a sip of my whiskey as we go airborne. As we push past 5,000 feet. That is some good whiskey. Checking back on the game there. It is the top of the ninth. It is still 6-0. I'm guessing with it being the top and that they're in Houston is currently the Angels batting. For those of you who don't know how baseball works, go look it up. I don't want to explain it. I just explained it badly. I know how to play the game because I played it as a kid, but
125.7 for Whiskyfile 1402.
ooh, going to the bottom. Kinky. I'm more of a boob man myself, but hey, you do you. Boob jokes and butt jokes.
Paris Center Whiskyfile 1402 is at 8,900 feet, climbing 11,000 feet.
Whiskyfile 1402 Paris Center altimeter 29.83. Continue to normalize.
I love both the bottom and the top. I'm just saying. One has poop involved. That's the only difference for me. You put a little bit of whiskey in me and I talk about butt stuff. Fun times.
1402 climb and maintain flight level 210.
Sometimes I just wonder about myself.
Climb
I'm gonna take another swig of whiskey, and I don't wonder anymore. It's fine.
102.
One thing I do like about this plane is it does have an alteration between 1000 and 100. You can actually switch that. Other planes like to do an auto function, which, I mean, in real life you could switch it, but they're like locked to auto, so it's actually quite nice flying the 787. But we will be cruising at, actually I can turn off my lights here. We will be cruising at 38,000. So it'll be just a little bit, but as we are above 10,000 feet now, you can turn on your personal electronic devices, but please keep your seatbelt fastened until we get up to cruising altitude. Once we're at cruising altitude, is that ice on the lounge? I don't have any of the de-icing stuff going. That's worrisome. It's okay, I didn't say that over the PA, you're fine. There we go. That should de-ice things. Once we are at cruising altitude, of course, the flight attendants will be coming around to serve you beverages and snacks. We offer Bavarian pretzels, even though we're going to the opposite end of Bavaria. Bavaria is towards the southern end of Germany, I think. Granted, I did go to California public schools, so my geography might be off. I believe that's correct. But we also offer an assortment of beer and whiskey, naturally. But of course, we got our beer supplied from France, so wait till Germany for the beer. The whiskey, of course, is from my private collection, so don't worry, it's actually good. But we did pick up some French wine, so if you want to be snooty and have wine, feel free, but I'm going to keep drinking my whiskey from Japan. Where did that come from? I have no idea. Well, it came from Japan, of course, because it's Japanese. Lovely sunrise here over France. Paris is off that way. Can't really see it, but it's there, I promise. Delightful whiskey. Now we are approaching now 21,000 feet, so it'll give me a height update probably to 28, maybe 30. Take your bets.
Whiskyfile 1402 climb and maintain flight level 270.
Ooh, 270. I would have been wrong.
Climb and maintain flight level 270 Whiskyfile 1402.
I mean, it does say it in my flight plan, but where's the fun in that? I mean, who reads those anyways?
Good day.
I do.
126.475 Whiskyfile 1402.
Sorry, I did a creepy Joe Biden whisper. Or because it's on YouTube, a perfectly fine Joe Biden whisper. That is not creepy in any way, shape, or form. It would not be unsettling to anyone, including small children, that he likes to sniff. But totally, definitely does not sniff, I swear. Come on now. 1, 2, 6. 0.47.
Paris Center Whiskyfile 1402 is passing flight level 225, climbing flight level 270. Whiskyfile 1402 Paris Center, continue to Nermo as planned.
Oh, I love these views. I have to say, the wings of the 787 are pretty spectacular. And yes, they do actually flex this much during flight. They are made of, basically they're a carbon composite, which allows them to flex a lot more than, I believe it would be aluminum that the old ones were made out of. And this allows for smoother ride and better efficiency. But yeah, they actually, the tips will flex above the airframe, which is pretty crazy. Now it's taking its turn as we pass by Nurmo. Head and do CMB and then Rubel. Check the game here. Still the bottom of the 9th. I don't know which inning, but I'm guessing you are watching very intently, Todd. Will he do it? It's pretty rare to have a perfect game. Very few have done it.
Whiskyfile 1402, climb and maintain flight level tree 80. Climb and maintain flight level tree 80, Whiskyfile 1402.
There's actually a Japanese baseball player that had 14 straight perfect innings, but they took him out of the game in the 8th inning, at the end of the 8th inning in one game. But consecutive 14 innings, which is apparently a record for Japan. Which, that's crazy. Some of the pitchers in that game, man, they throw blindingly fast these days. I mean, there was one fellow I was reading about that was pitching in excess of 100 miles an hour. Which is just a bit ridiculous. As we are approaching our final cruising altitude, I am going to be turning off the fasten seatbelt sign. Drink services will begin in approximately about 10 minutes, but feel free to move about the cabin, stretch your legs, check out the view. Should be fairly smooth flying all the way to Hamburg. Weather is fairly good, as we are now dropping our mind control agent on the French people here. I want to make sure that we do control those French minds. Make sure that they don't riot, as the French are known to do. Not to be confused with the riots going on in Sweden, which is a bit sketchy. But that's the nature of things today, and hopefully they can get their act together. Just a shame the violence that's going on there. I won't go into too deep a detail. I'd like my videos to stay up because I know YouTube are a bunch of tech tyrants. I used to post things on Rumble, but Rumble got really wonky with my release schedules. I like them, but go to them for other content, not for mine though. I do have my channel there. I should probably upload things there. Yep. And the final score is Angels 6, Astros 0. Todd will hopefully tell me if he got the perfect game. I'm not going to try and pronounce his name because I saw just a bunch of letters, and I am terrible at pronunciation. But we are, of course, doing a full flight all the way to Hamburg. It is going to be about an hour and... I think it's an hour 20. I'm just checking my flight plan here. Ooh, that whiskey's starting to hit me. 53% is no joke. Yeah, it is going to be an hour and 15 from, basically from takeoff. So it is not going to be a long flight at all. Basically, I want to get dinner. Sort of the equivalent of flying from here to Phoenix. Or from Kentucky to Chicago. The big ass bird for a short flight. But what we will be doing is probably on Saturday. I think I'm going to do a Saturday flight. We will be doing another long haul flight. Just because I'm thinking I'm going to go say hi to my buddy down in South Africa. Let me do that. Should be fun. Ooh, we are getting quite the headwind here. We got a 53 knot headwind. We're only cruising along at 462 knots. With an basically an actual airspeed here of 470. Yeah, headwinds galore, man. Good news is we still have plenty of fuel. Now I know you're looking at that, but JD, you only have 32% fuel. Yeah, this plane can fly for like 16 hours straight, so 30% of fuel. Take that 16 hours. What's 30% of 16 hours? Well, that is, what, 4.8, so we got tons of fuel. I mean, almost 5 hours worth of fuel. We'll be good. The reason why I under fuel is because it makes it a lot easier to fly.
Whiskyfile 1402, contact Brussels Center on 125.0.
Yes, sir.
125.0 for Whiskyfile 1402. Brussels Center Whiskyfile 1402 is passing flight level 365, climbing flight level 380.
Whiskyfile 1402 Brussels Center. Continue to rumble as planned.
Now, as we are now at cruising altitude, let me recommend the Coyote, but I also have a bunch of other things from my collection. We, of course, have Maker's Mark. We've got Jefferson Reserve. We've got Slipknot number 9. We've got Powers John Lane. I've also got my Scotch collection. We've got the Lagavulin 8-year, or Lagavulin, however you want to pronounce it. I'm American. I like to mispronounce things as much as possible. I've also got my Oban 14, which I know, Todd, you very much enjoy. Got my Glenfiddich, my Speyburn, which I really do like. That's a good whiskey for a cheap price. Glenmorangie. And my Macallan 12-year, which really does... Oh, no, that's not my Macallan 12-year. It's a Macallan double gold cask. Not great. It's fine. It's okay. It's passable. But Macallan has so much better. But it's for so much more. That's JD's rapid fire whiskey selection there. Oh, and don't forget my Lafroig Triple Wood, which is one of my personal favorites. We are now at cruising altitude. Feel free to make your selection or partake in your own. You don't judge. I'm not the TSA. I really don't care as long as you don't bring in the explosive device aboard my aircraft. Because this is my machine. Mine, mine, mine. Yeah, we'll be flying the 777-200 freighter variant for the long-haul flight, because we'll be bringing hamburgers from Hamburg to South Africa, because why not? Fly over the entire African coast. If you're wondering what that pop noise was, that was in fact my ankle, and yes, I am okay. Just likes to pop. Why don't you get to be my age? Yeah, I turned 30. Hurt. Oh, that's okay. Hopefully Todd will let me know if that fella got that perfect game. Fella named, I could probably pronounce this because it's Japanese, which they're kind of phonetic. So Shohei or Shohei Otani, Ohtani. Assuming that's Japanese. Just given the spelling. Well, let's actually look this fella up. Why not? Because I got the time here. Shohei Otani. His nickname is Showtime. That's kind of awesome. Oh, he is Japanese. Japanese professional baseball pitcher. Designated designated hitter and outfielder for the Anaheim Angels. Cool. The Hokkaido Nippon Ham Fighters of Nippon Professional Baseball, which is Japan. That's cool. Hope you did it. Todd, please let me know. I'm on pins and needles. I'm also hungry. I make myself some quesadillas afterwards. I've got some salsa. That is delicious. Now, I do believe that we have now flown over the border of France and Germany. BBR Airport is, because we're flying over EBBR, we're flying over Brussels Airport. So we are over Belgium. Yeah, this is Brussels. And there is one of their airports. Do you believe that is... Yeah, that's EBBR. Oh, look at that. So yeah, that's Brussels. I briefly had a train stop in there as I was going back from London. It was a nice train station. I kind of wish I had spent a little more time there. But I got to see a couple of the quick landmarks. There's a cool sculpture there. Which they're very well known sculpture because it's right by the train station. I just forgot what it's called, but it looks... Basically, it's like 6 spheres connected to a center sphere. It's called the atomium, which looks like an atom. It's apparently for the World's Fair Expo in 1958. That's cool. In case you're wondering, looks like that. Neat sculpture. Or the sculpture of the kid peeing. It's also in Brussels, if you're interested in sculptures that pee, but not my cup of tea. I'm guessing the sculptors probably thought that was hilarious. Granted, if I didn't have the internet, I'd probably think it was hilarious too. But I have the internet, which means I have infinitely more things to laugh at. My radio station keeps trying to say, hey, join this thing to get $2,000, but I don't care. I mean, it's like cash giveaway kind of thing. Radio stations always do that. But I like listening to them because I like listening to them while I'm in the shower. Great way to wake up. I like listening to the radio. The radio is nice. Well, and things going on in the world, of course. Twitter's going crazy because Elon Musk is trying to buy them, and they're like, no, freedom of speech, that's scary. We don't like that. We only like our speech to be free. Not the other gods. They still haven't fixed the heads-up display. Yeah. Also, Disney is losing their autonomy, as Disney World is going to be subject to local and state ordinances instead of their own jurisdiction. That's partly because they advocated for sexualizing children. That's kind of a dicey subject, but... I mean, Disney, you do you. It's just now you gotta... now you lose your little sweet deal there that you used to have. But you won't anymore. What else is going on in the news? Anonymous user of Twitter just got doxxed by a person who complained about people doxing her. That's hilarious. Want to look up that story. What else? I mean, I could go off on a architectural nerd thing, but I don't even know where it is. SDK updates. No, go away. Just wanted to zoom in on things. See where I am. I think I'm still currently over Belgium.
Whiskyfile 1402, contact Amsterdam Center on 119.175.
Amsterdam seems appropriate on a day like today.
119.175 for Whiskyfile 1402.
119.175. Sorry, I got the hiccups there.
Amsterdam Center Whiskyfile 1402, flight level 380.
Whiskyfile 1402, Amsterdam Center, continue as planned.
Alright, let's see where we are. Because I don't know. My geography is terrible. We are currently flying over the Netherlands. Actually, we're almost in the Netherlands. Actually, no, we are over the border. Because, actually, no, we're not. I think we're flying over Antwerp. Yeah, we are. So, Antwerp is right there, actually. It's this area here. Yeah, there it is. So still over Belgium, but almost to Eindhoven. As we fly briefly over the Netherlands and then into Germany. Or we will fly to Hamburg. I liked Hamburg. I actually hung out with one of my good friends in Hamburg. We kind of wandered about. It was pretty cool. Had some good food. Saw cool things. It was a fun city. You know, I'm glad I got to travel around the time that I did, because things are a bit sketchy now, but at the time it was actually pretty good time to wander about. You know what I might do? If I've got the time. Because Hamburg... I'm sure this is from here to Copenhagen. It is 100-mile distance from here to Copenhagen. And Copenhagen's pretty cool. We can avoid Malmö and all their current sketchiness. There's a cool tower in Malmö that is called the Turning Torso. It is the tallest building in, I believe it's the tallest building in Sweden, but it's certainly the tallest building in Malmö. That was designed. Who designed that one? Santiago Calatrava. No, it was him. Spanish architect, does really weird, wacky things with structure. But it is a tall tower. It's 57 stories tall, and you can tell me the height. Are you? Are you? No, you're not. 190 meters or 623 feet tall. Does a full 90-degree twist. I have a friend who made it in Minecraft, which I have no idea how he did that. I've done 90-degree twist towers before, but that one's a wonky one. He did a phenomenal job. So, if you've ever played Minecraft, Minecraft is, of course, a blocky tower, but basically looks like that. Which does a full 90-degree twist. It's ridiculous. But as you turn towards Minecraft. And yeah, my friend ended up doing that in Minecraft, which I still to this day don't know how he did. It's really hard to rationalize things in Minecraft. Fun game though. I do enjoy it. But it's definitely a chore. Todd's abandoned me. I'm guessing he's tucking in his daughter or reading her a story. Or having quality time with the wife. I don't blame him. Abandoning me. No, I don't have abandonment issues. It's fine. It'd be really funny if it just stopped doing things and he's still talking with me because apparently it just decided to stop. But no, it's good. Give myself a like, because why not? Can't stop me, YouTube. I can like my own stuff if I want to. Up my likes by 150, or actually by 50% there, so, you know, take it. Alright, let's bring up some data. Waypoints. I like having these things on. You can actually see where I am. Let's zoom out a little bit more. So actually, if I turn airports off. Okay, so we are currently 160 miles out of Hamburg. Okay, so let's do that. Let's see, how long have we been airborne here? Airborne for about 33 minutes. It is currently, I guess, 6:14? No, that should be 7:14. Local time. I don't know why the times are wrong. Either way, it is daylight now, obviously. We should hit our next waypoint in about 15 minutes. So that's when we should begin our descent. So, more time, I will enjoy more of my whiskey. Because why not? It's not like the FAA can stop me because I'm in Europe. Whoa! the ESA could stop me. But they can't stop me either because I'm on my computer in my home, sitting in my racing rig. I've got my new DD Pro that actually finally functions. Thanks, Fanatec. It only took you an extra month. I'm not salty, don't worry. It's a good wheel, by the way. Direct drive. Really nice. So I'll be doing some racing stuff with some of the boys at GLR. Oh, we should have fun with it. Todd's got one. Todd, we're here and he didn't abandon me. But he got his before mine because he didn't get the fancy load cell. I got the fancy load cell. And I like the load cell. It's quite nice. But I do that in racing, and oh my god, this whiskey just hit me like a ton of bricks. All right, fellas. Pray that we land, because oh my goodness, I just went from 0 to 100 like quick. Retro. And yes, I just took another drink. You can't stop me. Poured myself the glass. It's delicious. Actually, let's quickly look. Let's do a quick thing on here. Cayo Mizunara cask strength. As I misspelled cask strength. Seriously, I got a new keyboard. Well, new-ish. I've had it for a few months. From EVGA. Great keyboard. Really like keys, and my fingers are clumsy. They're really clumsy fingers. So I hit the wrong key all the time. I just want to... There we go. Total Wine. Total Wine will give me what I want. So the Cayo Mizunara cask strength. Currently going for $100 on Total Wine. That's a little more than I paid for. I think I paid about $85 on mine. Yes, it goes against my 30-80 rule, I know. But Cayo proved itself with its standard Mizunara oak, which is a phenomenal whiskey. Truly phenomenal. And I got that for like about $60. So once you've already proven yourself, I'm willing to go a little bit above for a better whiskey from a company that or from a distillery that I've already tested. So yeah, it goes a little against my 30-80 rule, but hey, it's worth it. Now, the description here, the Japan Cayo cask strength Japanese whiskey is matured in the finest Mizunara oak. It is a type of oak that grows in Japan. The casks are handmade due to the Mizunara oak's delicate wood grain. Extremely smooth, can attest to that, with great complexity and a lovely balance of fruit, silky malt, and a touch of dark chocolate, and I might add a hint of salt from the sea, which is quite delightful. I adore it. What's funny is Total Wine labels it as a scotch, which it's not. It's actually really funny. It puts it in the category of scotch, which says, Scotch, quite simply, is whiskey made and aged at least 3 years in Scotland, which this isn't because it's aged in Japan. All whiskies made in Scotland is scotch and must follow specific production regulations. That is true, but this is, of course, not scotch. All scotch varieties fall within 2 brand categories and are blends of these two, malt whiskey and grain whiskey. Malt whiskey must be 100% malted barley. Grain whiskey may include wheat, rye, corn, or other grains. It's also true, but again, this is not scotch. But to go in...
1402, contact Bremen Center on 125.1. Good day.
Yes, sir.
Going to 125.1 Whiskyfile 1402.
125 decimal.
Amsterdam Center, Turkish 181.
Bremen Center Whiskyfile 1402, flight level 380.
Whiskyfile 1402, Bremen Center. Continue to Whiskey Sierra, November as planned.
Now we are officially in Germany, so welcome to Germany. But the thing is with Japanese whiskey, the Japanese originally got like a ton of whiskey. Now I went into a little bit of this history before, I think. Maybe I just wrote it. I don't know. But they got it from, I believe, from an American trader who had a bunch of Scotch whiskey, and gave it to him about 110 gallons worth. That's a ton of whiskey. Now, they loved it, tried to recreate it, failed miserably, repeatedly. But as they started opening up at roughly about the turn of the century, they sent a couple of people to Scotland and learned primarily in the Highlands and the Speyside regions, which is the reason why their whiskey either has the sort of fruity taste of Highland Scotch or the sort of sweet, mild vanilla taste of Speysides. But because they're off the coast, they get a lot of the unintentional influence of Islay whiskeys with the sort of sea saltiness. So some of their whiskeys will have that, and this one has just a hint of it. It's very slight, but it is fantastic. So the mixture of that with the sweetness of it, it's a really, really rich whiskey. I mean, truly some of my favorite from Japan. And I know what you're thinking. Well, JD, you tasted the Toki, and that was awful. And yes, it was. No, I wouldn't say awful, just subpar. Yeah, I gave it 3 barrels out of 10, but hey, it was a decent whiskey. I mean, decent, not great, but keep in mind that's decent in comparison to like some of the swill they have around here. But the thing is, Japan has some pretty good whiskey, even from Suntory. Like, I have the Hibiki Harmony, which is a phenomenal whiskey, very sweet blended whiskey that is just delightful. And then, of course, Kaio, and I've heard good things about I think it's Yamazaki, and a few others. So, I mean, there's a lot of good whiskey coming out of Japan. I know Nika is pretty popular. Oh, what else is there? There's a lot of stuff from Japan. But it's mainly just because, well, trader brought it to him. But yeah. And if you're wondering what I'm drinking out of, I've got a set of Glencairn glasses. Highly recommend them for tasting, as they're good for swirling, good for sniffing, and just easy to drink out of. But also a good tumbler will work too. To be honest, as long as you like it, drink out of whatever you want. If you want to drink out of your kid's sippy cup, feel free. I'm not going to judge you. Your kid might, because you're drinking out of his or her cup, but, I won't. I mean, I've mixed a Jack and Coke out of my, Dickey's? Yeah, Dickey's barbecue cup. The big yellow cups. Which I'm really I mean, I understand for health reasons they don't let you get discounts for getting drinks out of a reused cup, but they're fantastic cups. Maybe I should have that next week, or actually tomorrow. They got a really good brisket mac and cheese. Great, I made myself hungry. I've already been hungry. But that's what happens when you get hungry. Think about food and you just get hungrier. Can't wait to make my quesadillas. Love quesadillas. It's just a comfort food. So we are currently flying towards 80DW. Let's see actually where. So we're approaching Bremen. I know that. Okay, we're approaching Bremen. I know Oldenburg. Yeah, I like Germany, and I actually lived in Germany for about 6 months in the city of Dessau, which, if you don't know Dessau, that's famous for having the Bauhaus School of Architecture, which Bauhaus sort of wandered between Berlin, Leipzig, and Dessau. But the more famous school is in Dessau. Moved back to Berlin towards the basically end of the 1920s into the 30s, and then architects that did that bailed to America. And why did they bail to America? Well, because Hitler did not like modern architecture. He liked neoclassicism. If you're wondering what neoclassicism is, it's classic style, so the Greek Roman architecture style, columns, colonnades, all those sort of things, triangular rooftops, big, strong architecture. That's what he liked. And then after that, then came in the communists, and the communists, of course, liked brutalism because it's unimaginative and authoritarian. Hallmarks of communism. Hallmarks really every totalitarian kind of regime. That's because you basically stifle free thought. So, what can you expect? Now, Dessau was technically part of East Germany. And here's how you can actually tell the difference between East and West Germany. Even 30 years later after the wall came, actually 31 years later after the wall had come down. In West Germany, you will find primarily buses and trains. But in East Germany, see, communists love trains. Particularly, they love streetcar tram. So if you're ever in Berlin, you'll notice that in certain areas there are sort of trams. And they run right in the middle of the street. They're basically streetcars.
Descend and maintain flight level 330 Whiskyfile 1402.
And streetcars are common in East Germany, but they were not common in West Germany. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I have turned on the fasten seatbelt sign. We have started our descent into Hamburg. Flight attendants will be walking around doing final compliance checks and picking up any trash that you may have accumulated, such as from your snacks or from your drinks. They will also be collecting any cups and glasses that you may have. At this time, please begin shutting down any of your personal electronic devices or any other sort of items that you may have retrieved from your stowed luggage. Please put those back. We will be needing all that locked down, and you will need to be in your seat. Also take this time to use the bathroom for one final time, as the flight attendants will scold you. I will say this, though, as another bit of news. We are happy to report, now granted, Whiskyfile Spirit Airlines has never had a mask mandate because we just don't give a flying fuck. Because we're flying. See, it's a flying joke. But the FAA has no longer enforces it, although the Biden administration has worked to appeal it because they really don't care what happens in the 2022 midterms, because they are all about their totalitarian rule, and they don't care that they're going to get completely shellacked because they might try and rig the election, but, you know, who am I to say? So, we will, once we are down below 10,000 feet, make sure that your seat backs are upright and your tray tables are in their locked positions. We will remind you, of course, once we're down a little bit lower. But if you currently are still enjoying your peanuts and or pretzels, Feel free to keep enjoying them, but we will be doing. We will be retrieving trash and whatnot.
Descend and maintain flight level 250 Whiskyfile 1402.
I'm also kind of drunk right now. I say I finally finished my whiskey. Like I said, if you're drinking cask strength, it is no joke. It is quite strong. Keep in mind, Scotch whiskey usually sits at right about 40%. That's usually kind of the standard for most whiskeys. But this being at 53%, so that's the difference between 80 proof and 106 proof. It's going to knock you on your ass. This is actually probably one of the strongest whiskeys that I have. I think the next strongest is my Maker's Mark 101, which is, of course, 101 proof, which is 50.5. I don't think I have anything else that's even close to that. Most of my stuff is in the 40s and maybe 45s. So, your 80s to 90 proofs. I have no idea why proof is twice that of the percentage. But let's look up why. Oh, what is proof in alcohol? Okay, so according to foodnetwork.com, which is of course a very reliable source, I guess. Did you ever wonder why alcohol content is measured in proof? And why that number differs from the other numbers you will see in vodka and whiskey, ABV, alcohol by volume? Alcohol by volume, or the percentage of alcohol in the liquid, is a standard measurement of alcohol strength across the world. Yes, it's pretty standard. 30% ABV. Spirit in the U.S. is also a 30% ABV. Yeah, because, I mean, percent is a percent is a percent. Proof is so called because back in England in the 1500s, the government would levy a higher tax on liquor containing a higher amount of alcohol. Alcohol content was determined via a rather crude test. Basically, the government would soak a gun pellet with alcohol and try to set fire to the gunpowder. If it lit, the alcohol content in the liquor was high enough gunpowder to ignite. The liquor would be deemed to be a proof spirit, as in there was proof it contained a high amount of alcohol and was taxed at a higher rate. Of course, the British would tax something. Because this method of proving alcohol proof alcohol content wasn't very precise, obviously, England changed the system of establishing proof in 1816. The new system involved scientifically precise measures of density and gravity and set the proof threshold at 57.06% alcohol by volume. This measure was standardized in 1952. In the UK, a 100 proof spirit is about 57% ABV, and the ratio of proof to ABV is 4 to 7. Multiply the ABV by 1.75, you get the proof. Around 1980, however, the UK began to adopt a straight ABV scale for labeling spirits. So they changed it. So technically this would be... This technically would be 90, probably 98 or 97 proof by the old measurements, but now it is currently as what it is. In the United States, the system, established in 1848, is a bit simpler. Proof is straight up 2 times alcohol by volume. So a vodka, which I don't recommend, which is terrible, because it just tastes like cringe, is 80 proof, if it's 40% alcohol by volume. And one is 45%. ABV is 90% proof, or is 90 proof. A proof spirit is 100 proof, 50% alcohol by volume, or higher. So a proof spirit. So this is technically a proof spirit. In France, they use a scale measured in degrees Gay-Lussac instead of proof, originally named for a French chemist and now known as EML scale for Organisation Internationale Yeah, I know, my French accent while I'm drunk is probably unintelligible. This is going to be cringeworthy to listen back to, which is the reason why I don't listen back to it. 22 flicks a 1-to-1 ratio with ABV. So in France, a spirit is 100%. ABV is 100 proof. And one that is 45% ABV is a 45 degrees NGL. Très simple. So this would be 56. All I know is I drink too much. On an empty stomach, I really should eat before I do this. But it will be more entertaining to you. Because I get to try and land. It's gonna be hilarious. Because I bet you I'm going to overshoot the runway. Place your bets, folks. Place your bets. To the whopping 0 people that are watching this, so I'm just simply here entertaining myself. Granted, it is a Wednesday. I usually do these things on a Saturday or a Sunday in the afternoon rather than my evening time. And that is simply because I got a lot of UK friends because I race with them, as well as Americans, but the Americans are probably, actually, well, one of my racing buddies is currently in Georgia for a wedding and the other one is in Kentucky and it's 10:30 there. Because it is currently 7:36 according to local time. Which makes it 7:36 a.m. according to my time here. About 37. So a minute off when I set the time. Well. Alright. Pull flaps a little bit. That will help arrest my speed. Pull the brakes a little bit. There we go. Now we're down below 250. That way we'll drop a little bit better. Now, I have never landed into Hamburg. So hopefully we'll be doing okay here. Actually, bring mine closer. So we're doing the this approach here. Basically do my upwind approach here, and then come my downwind into Hamburg Airport. Now, Hamburg, it is a delightful city. It's really fun to just walk along the river. Oh, it's a lovely city. As you can see here, here's the, I don't remember which river this is, but we'll take a look at Google Maps. Google Maps will definitely know. Ah, it's the Elbe. It's got a lot of canals and other things. Really pretty city. I really liked Hamburg. Had some really good food there. Oh man, now see, I'm making myself really hungry again. Alright, so we're dropping flaps here. We're doing 5 degrees. That way gives me a little bit of time to think. I'm going to need some time to think because the brain cells are not working because the brain cells are inebriated. I love the word inebriated, by the way. Oh, it's 53%, not 56. I think I made that mistake a little earlier. But yeah. 53% is no joke. But it is quite delightful. Who knows? I should probably drink some water here, which fortunately in my leftist tears tumbler. Which you can see right there. Love drinking out of this thing at work. Yeah, I've got a button for that. It's pretty cool. I got some water in here. It is still a little bit cold from the what little bit of ice we got from our freezer. Our freezer is absolute garbage. It only had 6 bits of ice in it. 6 little cubes. That's it. That's all it had. When I left work today, that's because someone either keeps grabbing all the ice, or the ice machine itself is just trash. And it's I believe it's an LG fridge, so stay away from those. They make terrible smartphones, and they make terrible fridges. Which is really surprising, because they made really decent flip phones back in the day. Now, as we are currently at 15,000, I'm going to check the weather data here in Hamburg.
Whiskyfile 1402 descend and maintain 3,000 feet. Keep speed not above 220 knots.
Descend and maintain 3,000 feet. Keep speed not above 220 knots. Whiskyfile 1402.
Alright, so we are beginning our descent down to 13, or actually down to 3,000 feet. And what we're going to do is we're going to quickly switch here to HPA to 1016. So that will give us roughly accurate what the weather data is. They'll probably update it, but it's going to be currently 30.01 inches of mercury for the barometric pressure. That way we'll just have the accurate altitude. What I'm going to do is I'm going to alter my camera here. And we're going to set up landing. So that way we're a little bit closer. That way when I reset it, it'll be a little bit closer. It'll make it easier for me to land. We're going to drop a little bit more flap there. So we're currently at 10 degrees flap. We will be going all the way down to 30 by the time we land. Now we are currently doing our crosswind, so we are going currently southeast. Yes, I had to check that because I just didn't want to do math in my head. But we'll then be going northeast as we make our final 90-degree turn. Ladies and gentlemen, we are going to begin our final approach here. So please make sure your seat backs and tray tables are in their upright and locked positions, respectively. Don't make sure you're make sure that your all trash and all that other stuff is cleared. Make sure your laptops are stowed. Make sure your cell phones are off. Make sure your DSLR cameras that you're pointing at the wing to make your Instagram posts are stowed away, etc. etc.
Maintain present heading at altitude. Expect ILS runway 05 approach by DH-257 transition. Clear to DH-257.
Maintain present heading at altitude. Expect ILS runway 05 approach via DH-257 transition. Cleared to DH-257. Whiskyfile 140.
Okay, I got the runway in sight. Make sure all carry-on is stowed.
Going to 119.51 Whiskyfile 1402. Bremen approach. Whiskyfile 1402 is at 10,800 feet, descending 3,000 feet.
Whiskyfile 1402 Bremen approach, altimeter 29.9er, continue to DH-257 as planned.
You're down from the landing lights. As we are below 10,000 feet. Alright, we are turning this into a sterile cockpit. Means where the hell is the runway? Oh, that's a different airport. So this is not the runway that we're looking at. Ours is further down.
Whiskyfile 1402, you are 16 miles southwest of Hamburg.
Ah, there's a runway.
Tower on 121.28 when inbound.
Tower on 121.28 Whiskyfile
So
1402.
actually, we can correct our landing gear. Alright, 121.28.
Hamburg Tower Whiskyfile 140215 miles southwest inbound ILS runway 05 approach.
Whiskyfile 1402 Hamburg Tower. Altimeter tree 0.00 wind 042.11. Cleared ILS runway 05 approach.
So this is a different runway. I originally thought we were lining up with that, but we are
Cleared ILS
not.
runway 05 approach Whiskyfile 1402.
Alright. It's interesting that we're doing an approach like this, but I guess it's a single runway. Yeah, it's a single runway airstrip, so this is the only one here. But we are of course going here. As you can see, the wind veil is... Oi! 3,000, dude. Okay. We're disabling autopilot and we are taking over manually. And we are lined up. We are just re-engaging our glide slope here. Auto throttle should be still in place. Yeah, it is. There we go. We are now back at 3,000 feet. Right where we should be. Alright, we are past our last waypoint. Good, auto throttle is doing its job. Landing gear is down. Now, as we are approaching our landing, we are going to be trying to basically land on the 1,000-foot mark, which are the bold lines on either side of the runway. Now, if you're wondering what I'm actually looking at, we've got a mixture of indicators. So I've got my, you can see the navigation here. This is lateral, so I'm basically lined up with the runway. Got my vertical, which is right on the glide slope.
Whiskyfile 1402 and 042.11. Cleared to land runway 05.
No, we got a heck of a wind here.
Cleared to land runway 05 Whiskyfile 1402.
Now this is primarily a headwind, which is a good thing. Now I'm also looking at the lights here on the runway. We want 2 red, 2 white. Which basically means I'm right on the glide slope, which essentially I am. Actually a little bit low, so it's showing me 3 reds there, but that's fine. We're okay. We'll get on the ground nice and safe, don't worry. Now the trick to this, which actually I've been watching some videos for, is you pretty much want to shoot towards the numbers and then flare up. And then you'll, right now, see it's showing 4 red, but we're actually doing okay. We are a little bit off.
100. 50. 40. 30. 20. 10.
Ooh, hard landing. We're fine.
Whiskyfile 1402 exit runway when able.
And there we go.
Whiskyfile 1402 contact ground on 121.805.
One two one decimal 805 Whiskyfile 1402.
Let's see here. 1, 2, 1, 1, 8, 0, 5. All right. Let's move these things there. Clean up the aircraft a bit. And we'll go to parking. We're fine. We stayed on the taxiway. We're good. Check the runways. As we're in the middle of it, it's fine. They'll see us. Well, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Hamburg, Germany. The local time is, actually, it's probably 5:55 right now. But according to this, it is. Actually, it'd probably be 7:55, but it's really 5:55 in the morning. The current temperature outside is a 6 degrees Celsius or 42 degrees Fahrenheit. So it would be nice sweater weather, certainly. Please remain in your seat till the fasten seatbelt sign has been turned off, and that will mean that it is safe to move about the cabin. We will be parking, we are also parked at the gate. You can actually get off and get to your next flight if this is where you are finally getting off. Well, enjoy your stay and or enjoy your time at home. If this is your home, if it is not, which it is not for me, well, we thank you for choosing Whiskyfile Spirit Airlines. Please make sure you keep all of your personal electronics stowed and currently off, and keep your luggage stowed until we are in the gate. And if you have a desktop set up for this flight, wow, you're rude, and the guy in the seat next to you is really mad at you encroaching in a space. I am genuinely surprised at how you managed to get that one past the TSA, but hey. Now please check around your seat for your personal belongings that you may have brought on board with you. And please use caution when opening the overhead bins, as heavy articles may have shifted around during flight. And remember, anything left behind will be sold and used for, and the money gotten will be used for whiskey. Now, if you require assistance off the plane, please remain seated. And one of our flight attendants will happily help you off once everyone else has disembarked. Was that guy telling me to still move forward? That should be fine. Engage the parking brake. Now, on behalf of Whiskyfile Spirit Airlines and the entire crew, I'd like to thank you for joining us today, and we look forward to seeing you aboard in the near future. Have a wonderful rest of your day if you are in European time, or have a wonderful rest of your evening if you are in American time. And if you're in Australian time, sorry, Neil, I genuinely don't know exactly what time it is there. I think you're like exactly opposite me, so you're probably enjoying your morning as well. Well, I do believe that we are perfectly good.
Hamburg ground Whiskyfile 1402, could you please connect the jetway to the aircraft?
Whiskyfile 1402, the jetway is going to be connected.
Alrighty. Well, that was a pretty good flight there. Fairly quick. I don't know why it still says KC to KMDW. Oh, there we go. Jetway is connected. And as we turn off the seatbelt sign, you are free to move about the cabin. Like I said again, thank you for choosing Whiskyfile Spirit Airlines. We're happy that we are your only choice in whiskey-related airlines, where our pilots are ensured to have above 8.08 alcohol, blood alcohol level. Alrighty. This camera angle is a bit wonky, isn't it? There we go. Alright, let's turn off the fuel pumps. Make sure to pull down that. Battery's on. External power is on. And I do believe that is everything. So we'll turn off the APU, turn off the generators, turn off external power, kill the aircraft. You're now in a fully dead aircraft. But thank you and have a wonderful day. Please, if you liked this video or you want me to actually produce some whiskey-related content, just gotta get around to actually editing. Please like, subscribe, comment, share, all the YouTube things. And I want to thank you and hope you have a wonderful day and hope you're taking care of yourself. And I will see you in the next one. Have a wonderful day. Bye-bye.